The next conic section that we're going to be looking at is circles. So we're going to be writing circles in vertex form. When we're writing a circle in vertex form, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to divide by our a value. Our a value is always the number in front of the x squared and the y squared. If it's a circle, these two numbers will always be the same. So in both of these cases, they're 3. So that means we're dividing each of the terms by 3. When we divide each of them by 3, our next step is we're going to complete the square by finding a new c value for our x's and for our y's. We're going to be using the formula c equals b over 2 squared. So if you're looking at that, negative 2 divided by 2 squared is 1, and 4 divided by 2 squared is 4. So notice that we have a 4 right here. Now, whatever we add on one side, we have to do the same thing on the other. So we have plus 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 4. Now we're going to factor each of our trinomials, and we get our square binomials. This right here is our circle in vertex form. How we find the center of the circle is the opposites. So we have negative 1, this is 1, positive 2, this is negative 2, and our radius is the square root. So the square root of 16 is 4. So let's look at our first example. We don't have an a value in front of these, so we're going to go straight to completing the square. For the first one, we have 4 divided by 2 squared is 4. So we have x squared plus 4x plus 4. Then for the second one, we have 2 over 2 squared, which is 1. So that's plus y squared plus 2y plus 1 equals, we have our negative 1. But remember, since we added the 4 and added the 1, we're going to add the 4 and add the 1 on the other side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to factor. So when we factor this trinomial, we get an x plus 2 squared. When we factor this trinomial, we get a y plus 1 squared. And then when we add the other side, this right here becomes 4. This is our equation. Now, in order to find the center, it's our opposite. Negative 2, negative 1. And our radius is always the square root, so that means that our radius is 2. And that right there is our answer. Let's look at another example. Here we don't have an a value, so we're going to go straight to completing the square. We have the 18 divided by 2 squared. 9 squared is 81. So we have x squared plus 18x plus 81. And then for our other one, we're taking the negative 6 divided by 2 squared. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Squared is 9. That gives us y squared minus 6y plus 9 is equal to 2 plus 81 plus 9. Now what we're going to do is we're going to factor. This trinomial becomes x plus 9 squared. This trinomial becomes y minus 3 squared. And then when we add up the other side, we have 92. This right here is our equation in vertex form. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find the center of the circle. Center of the circle, remember, is the opposites. So we have negative 9, we have 3, and our radius is a little bit more difficult. In order to figure out our radius, it's always the square root. So it's the square root of 92. And 92 would be two numbers, 4 and 23. Square root of 4 is 2. So that means that our radius is 2 square root of 23.